Hi everyone, this is Julianne Victoria of Through the Peacock's Eyes. Welcome to my channel. I wanted to make a video giving you guys a list of herbs that you might already have lying around in your refrigerator, in your cabinet, on your spice shelf, growing around your home, growing around the neighborhood, or someone you know might just always have in their home that help relieve cold, flu, and virus symptoms. Now, of course, the coronavirus is going around, and at least where I am in California and across the US, grocery store shelves are empty. Besides like paper products, like cold and flu meds are gone. Even like the teas in the tea aisle, the teas that help cold and flu symptoms are, being bought up really fast. So I wanted to give some practical help and advice for things you might already have that can help relieve some of those symptoms. Now, of course, if you're feeling ill, go to the doctor, get tested, get checked out. Take your fever medication. You don't want your fever to get too high. If cold and flu meds and you have them help you out, take them. Listen to your doctor. But these things can definitely help with the symptoms. And these are things that I often use when I'm sick. Okay, so the first thing on my list is lemon or lemon juice. I also have a lime here. So I happen to have a lemon in my backyard. I know not everyone out there is going to have access to lemons and lemon juice year round, but many people have like those little bottles of lemon or lime juice in their fridge that you buy at the grocery store, or you have, ideally, they're stored in glass, not plastic. You can buy lemon juice at the store, and you may already have that. Now, besides them being, the citrus being high in vitamin C, which helps boost the immune system, making what I call lemon tea, which is basically warm water, not boiling water, with the juice of one lemon. You can also do half a lemon if it's too tart for you, with a heaping spoonful of honey. Now, honey is number 2 on my list. Honey has lots of antibacterial, antimicrobial properties to it. So I make my cup, it's probably about a cup and a half of water with the juice of one lemon, my heaping tablespoon of honey. And there's many things that helps. So one, okay, you're getting the vitamin C, right? So that's helping the immune system. You're getting the benefits of the honey. The warm water and the soothing quality of the honey help relieve sore throats, especially dry, itchy, scratchy ones. And that's why I do a heaping tablespoon of honey. This steam helps to loosen up, sinus congestion, especially that post-nasal drip. And, you take a sip of your lemon water, or your lemon tea, whatever you want to call it. I know it's not really tea. And, you just don't gulp it down. You just take slow sips so the steam can work up through your sinus cavity. So that can help too. The lemon or lime is also beneficial to your liver. So if you are taking lots of medications, cold and flu meds, especially if you have to take things like Tylenol or Advil, which can be hard on the liver, the lemon can give the liver a boost. And so your liver clears out your blood, right? And when your liver's happy, your kidneys are happy, and your kidneys obviously filter out the body, and we pee. So helping boost those organ systems is also going to help your body have the strength to fight off any illness. So those are the benefits of that. I'm thinking if I left anything out there. I think that's good. Okay, so lemon. Drink lots of warm lemon water with honey. Second is honey. I have a jar of honey. We get this from the farmer's market. It is unfiltered raw honey from a local honey farm or a bee farm. If you can't find that, that's okay. Any honey will do. But I like to use honey because it is a whole food. It's not a processed sweetener that's been stripped of any possible nutrients and, might have chemical residue in it. So I like to use honey. Also, it has the soothing quality, and it has its antimicrobial properties to it. But yeah, any honey will do. That's just like my preference. So when we see it at the farmer's market, we grab that. And also, for those of you who have mild allergies, if you have like severe allergies, this may help a little, But if you have mild allergies, eating local honey, because it's made, the bees make it from the local pollen, might be able to help your allergies lessen. And it's actually helped my husband. So that's another thing honey can help out with. Okay, so third on my list here is mint. And this is some mint I just picked that's growing in my garden. So mint is cooling, so that can be relief if you're having sweats from fever. It's not necessarily considered a fever reducer, but its cooling qualities can help that a little bit. But mostly it's a cooling herb, can help, if you're hot from fever and you're sweating, can bring some relief. And I would actually make this in a tea. So I boil a few leaves in some water and a tea. Or if you have dried mint around, just take half a teaspoon of dried herb and make a cup of water for tea. And you can add your honey as well. So mint can bring some cooling qualities. Mint is also good for the digestion. So especially if you're having things like diarrhea, it can help with constipation, but because it's a cooling herb, it cools down digestive heat. And often this, it's going to depend on the person and everything going on, right? But often digestive heat leads to diarrhea. So digestive upset, mint is good for that if that's coming with whatever your cold and flu symptoms are. Next on my list is clove, and I have this big bag of dried clove here. Let me pull it out. Clove is great for cold and flu symptoms as well. Relieving congestion. I actually usually make, and I've used it up this year already. Let's hold a piece up. Block my face. Does that work? I usually make a cough syrup with clove as sort of the main ingredient. I use clove, mint, honey, and rose hips, which I'll get to here. But clove, most of us aren't going to have that growing around our home, but many people have that on their spice rack, in their cabinet, in their pantry. Clove is a very common herb. And it doesn't have to be the whole cloves. It could be clove that's ground down, especially if you bake or someone who bakes, they might have clove lying around. So making a tea out of clove can help relieve symptoms. And clove is a very potent pain reliever too. So especially if you have a very painful sore throat, sipping some clove tea again with honey, because honey, it's sticky, right? So you want things like sticky things or mucilaginous things help soothe dry, scratchy, icky, sore throats and help to pull away the sticky congestion there. So the clove can help relieve the pain, especially. Next on my list is sage. Now, sage is great. It's really well known as a gargle for a sore throat. And that in itself can help relieve congestion depending on what's causing the sore throat. So some sore throats are caused by a lot of post-nasal drip. Some are caused by, if you have strep throat, it's in your throat. But a sage gargle, and you can do a saltwater gargle too. So salt is another thing you can use. I didn't add to my list here, but just get some warm water from the tap. Put in maybe a teaspoon of salt, sea salt, ideally. Just table salt is scratchier, so it can be a little scratchier on the throat. And sea salt will dissolve quicker. And then mix in some sage. So it can just be like a half teaspoon of, this is just powdered sage I have. Flakes might be a little better. And gargle it. Make a gargle out of it. You can also make a tea out of sage. Again, powder, it could work. Make it like powdered green tea, or the flakes, or if you have sage growing around your home, this is the sage I have in my backyard. You can take a few leaves and boil it up and make a tea and let that soothe your sore throat. And again, any steam from any hot drink is going to help loosen up congestion because you want that stuff to flow out of your system. You don't want it to be stuck in there, right? Because then you get headaches and you want it to come out, so that can help loosen up congestion. And then I have a couple of rose hips here. Whoops, just dropped them on the computer. A couple of rose hips from rose bushes in my garden. I try to gather as many of those as I can in the fall, sometimes into early winter, once they get really dark orange or red, depending on the rose. So if you have a rose bush or you're walking by one and you see the rose hips, grab a couple hips and let them dry out. Rose hips are very high in vitamin C as well. So again, they help boost the immune system. You can crush these and also make a tea out of them. And then I also wrote down here dandelion. So dandelion, like lemon, is great for the liver. So if your liver is overloaded, from medications, especially if you're always taking medication, you want to help boost the liver. But if you get sick, you're taking cold and flu meds, or maybe you had to get an antibiotic, and then you're taking especially the fever reducer medications because they are hard on the liver. Eating dandelion greens, they are bitter, and actually bitters are good for the liver. Eating them, mixing them in with salad or soup. I actually love dandelion soup, or drying them and making dandelion tea. That works as well. That's helpful for the liver. And again, any tea, any steam is going to help to loosen up congestion and get stuff draining and clearing out. Okay. Lastly, I wrote down chamomile, because chamomile is a very common herb. A lot of people have chamomile tea bags in their cabinet, or you may know someone who does. These are my chamomile flowers harvested from my garden. And the purple bits in there are borage flowers, which are actually, borage is a fever reducer. So if you happen to have borage flowers, blue borage flowers, save them and make a tea out of them for fever reduction. So I made this chamomile and borage combination as a cold and fever reducer. And chamomile is safe for children 2 years and up. Be cautious with kids. Don't just shovel herbs into them. But I like this because I have a 2-year-old and I can now make her some chamomile tea with that. Okay, so again, the list is lemon or lime, the juice or tea or warm water with honey. Honey in all your teas, all your warm drinks. Mint, good for digestion, good for cooling you down if you have hot fever, sweats and whatnot. Good for intestinal digestion, so things like diarrhea. Clove, overall good for actually purging things out, because it's a warming spice, so it heats you up and helps you to sweat things out. I don't think I mentioned that. And for painful sore throat especially. Sage, great as a gargle, decongestant. Dandelion for supporting the liver through all this. As well as dandelions are high in nutrients. They're starting to wilt already. I gotta hold them this way. They're really high in nutrients. Though plants with really deep roots, that's why they're kind of not liked in gardens, because they suck up a lot of nutrients. And rose hips, high in vitamin C. That's mostly why I use them. And I like the taste. And yeah, just to mention, like I've made simple way, tea. Anyone can do that. You don't need to know any special herbal concoction methods. You just have to maybe a teaspoon of herbs for 1 to 2 cups of hot water. But I have made various cough syrups, which require a lot of honey. You can also use maple syrup or agave nectar, out of clove as my main ingredient, especially because if you're coughing a lot, your throat hurts even more, even if you didn't have a sore throat. Clove, mint for the cooling, soothing qualities. What else have I put in my cough syrup? Rose hips, crushed rose hips. Yeah. And I think I've put in sage. I think I did chamomile this last time. So it's often been a combination of what I have here for you guys. And to make a cough syrup, you want to boil those herbs up look online for specific measurements because it depends on what you use. But you boil them up for a long time. You really like decoct the essence out of them, and then you strain it, and then you put in a whole lot of honey to make a really thick syrup. Again, you could use maple syrup, but that would change the taste. Agave, I liked honey. I like raw honey because it's nice and thick. So anyway, I just wanted to give you guys some little tips to help you out while everything's going around, and you can use these anytime for cold and flu relief, especially with like colds, right? Minor colds where you're not necessarily bedridden, but you're not feeling great, drink some lemon water, some lemon juice, or have some mint tea instead of caffeine tea. And I should mention water. Water, lots of water. It is true. Drink lots of water. And you want to stay hydrated. You want to have a lot of fluid going through your system for your lymphatic system to help clear things out. So you want to be peeing a lot. That's going to help your kidneys stay happy. And when your kidneys are happy, your liver is happier. They work together quite a bit. And try to avoid or cut back on dehydrating drinks like coffee, black tea, alcohol, soda, pop, Coke, whatever you call it, wherever you are. Okay, so I just wanted to pop on really quick, and it wasn't all that quick, just talking about some things you might have around that will help you out. Oh, and a couple of books for those who are interested in looking into this further, a couple of good herb and like food healing resources. I have a couple of my books here I want to show you. One is a great overall herbal resource is the Herb Book by John Lust. And another monstrous book, I've had this I think since 2002 or something, maybe 2000, Healing with Whole Foods. And the author is, Paul Pitchford. It draws from all different cultures. It's not just foods, it goes into herbs, as you can see, Asian traditions and modern nutrition. If you're interested in finding out ways in which you can, help heal from a cold with what you have at home, with what you eat, those are two excellent resources, especially this one. I think I got it in 2000, so 20 years ago. Even have some of my ancient bookmarks in there. I actually read it front to back when I first got it. I just dove right into it. So if you're looking for some resources, you might be able to, you might not be able to go to the bookstore right now, but you might be able to order it off Amazon and get it sometime soonish. I don't know. All right, everyone, stay healthy, prepare as best you can. Look in your refrigerator and cabinets and look around you in your garden, especially dandelions grow everywhere. See what's around that you can use to help you and your family and friends stay healthy. All right, everyone, thank you again. Sending out love and prayers, and hopefully this clears sooner than later.